Okay, let's talk about the Durham report. Many of you wrote to me and you said David, or many of you did not say David. Many of you used pejoratives and anti-Semitic terms for me, but still said you won't talk about the Durham report, which has implicated Hillary Clinton in stealing and spying and being in Trump's White House and all of these different things. This story has gotten more and more oxygen and generated more and more stories. And yet all of the basis for it is bogus and has been debunked. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about a series of headlines based on a court filing by John Durham. John Durham is special counsel doing an investigation into did anyone spy on Trump and some other different things. And headlines exploded a few days ago saying Hillary infiltrated the Trump White House. Wow, that's pretty strong. Hillary infiltrated. Where did they get that? Well, they said the Durham filing with the court says Hillary infiltrated and spied and did all these different things. Except, remember my acronym CAPS, critically analyze primary sources? If you find the court filing, you go, sir, where is the word infiltrate? Where is even a word that means infiltrate? And it's not there because it's not in the report. The headlines using the word infiltrate were then used for further reporting. So you would look on Fox and they would go, headline, infiltrate. It was all bogus. Okay. There was an event in Texas over the weekend. Madison Cawthorn, Marjorie Taylor Greene were there, and they're just making stuff up out of thin air. In this first clip, you'll see Marjorie Taylor Greene say that Hillary also hacked the White House. The Hillary campaign hacked the White House. Now, of course, understand that there was no Hillary campaign and Trump White House at the same time. What I mean by that is by the time that there was a Trump White House, there was no Hillary campaign because the campaign ended months before there was a Trump White House. Doesn't matter. Explain to them time doesn't work the way you believe. They don't care. Take a look at this.
So let's hope it goes faster than this Durham report and all of that, right?
Wasn't that a beauty, though?
Yeah. I mean, can you guys believe that here we are, how many years later? This is 2022, and we're still hearing the truth come out about how the Hillary Clinton campaign spied on candidate Donald J. Trump. And then even further, they hacked into the White House and spied on the president of the
There is no evidence of that, and it is not what the Durham court filing says.
United States. And then here we're, it's still coming out. It's shameful. I mean, honestly, what really should happen is Hillary Clinton should be in jail.
Now, of course, they believe in due process. The first thing would be, well, you would charge Hillary. That would be the first step. And it's for a jury to decide whether she should be in jail. It's not up to Marjorie Taylor Greene. They say that they are all about law and order, and they call for the imprisonment not only of people who haven't been found guilty, of people who haven't even been charged.
And every single person that worked on her campaign and was involved in spying on a president of the United States. I don't care about political parties. I don't care about any of it. When people will go that far to try to win and defeat their political opponents, they belong in jail. And right now we're in a time where we're seeing people abusing power and going after their political enemies.
We are seeing that, but we're seeing it from the Trumpian delusion or the delusional Trumpist wing of the party she's a member of.
There are people that did break laws and they have been charged for the riot on January 6th. But right now they're still locked up in jail, in the D.C. jail.
Now they care about pretrial detention all of a sudden.
Pre-trial January 6th defendants, they deserve their due process rights. They deserve to be treated innocent until proven guilty, but they're not.
It is just unbelievable. They deserve their due process rights. Imprison Hillary despite no indictment, charges, trial, or guilty verdict. But the rioters aren't being treated properly. Now, of course, we've been talking about the issue of pretrial detention for years. These people never cared about it. And there's actually work to be done. We're on the precipice of a war between Russia and Ukraine that will throw energy, supply chains, and the stock market into chaos and rattle the American economy, cause inflation, cause chaos. And they've spent days talking about a Hillary story based on a distorted report, which did not summarize what was actually in the Durham filing, on the basis of which dozens of stories and hours of reporting were based. And they say that we're the ones who aren't talking about the real issues. Here's one other clip from this same very strange event in Texas. Here, Marjorie Taylor Greene tells the lie that Ukraine was the top donor to Hillary Clinton's campaign. It's pulled out of thin air. It's not true.
Hides them all. The media would rather tell you lies about people like us, call us all kinds of horrible names, present some character of us that is not even true so that people will think bad things about us, but they don't want to tell the truth. So many stories, like the truth about what's actually happening in our country, but yet they'd rather talk about Russia, and Ukraine and talk about possible war than talk about the real truth.
That's a real story, Marge. The Russia-Ukraine story is something that's actually happening. There's nothing about Hillary infiltrating the Trump White House. It's just there's no actual basis for that.
That Ukraine, don't forget this, Ukraine was the #1 donor to Hillary Clinton.
No, Ukraine was not the #1 donor to Hillary Clinton. I don't even really know what that means. Until these people are sued and actually lose a defamation suit, they will not stop. One thing that has dramatically reduced the number of these Hillary stories on Fox and among some other right-wing media outlets is that at a speech in New York over the weekend, Hillary Clinton said, what is being said about her is approaching actual malice. Now, that is a legal term relevant to defamation. Remember that in the case where Sarah Palin sued the New York Times for defamation, last week a judge determined there was no proof of actual malice. And actual malice is very hard to prove under admittedly. Hillary Clinton saying what they're doing is approaching actual malice seems to have made some of these right-wing media people realize we may be going a little too far here, particularly because all of our apoplectic headlines about Hillary and spying and infiltrating are based on bogus interpretations of the Durham court filing. So it's not going to stop until somebody loses a defamation suit. That you can be sure of. One of our sponsors is called Privacy. Privacy is a totally free service that I've been using for years. Privacy lets me create virtual payment cards with one click. And when I use the virtual card, the money is taken out of my bank account. You can create multiple cards, delete them, freeze them, set a spending limit on them. Let's say I'm signing up for a free trial and it requires a credit card. Privacy will autofill a virtual card number. And then after signing up, I can delete that virtual card. So I know I'm not going to be charged again. Something really useful and very practical. Or let's say I'm ordering food over the phone, but I left my wallet somewhere. I don't have my real credit card on me. I can use a virtual card on my Privacy mobile app. But really the best part is you're not out there exposing your real credit card number, so you're not as susceptible to data breaches and identity theft. Privacy is a totally free service, and you'll get $5 to spend when you go to privacy.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.